So, our this year's Days of Miracles program is dedicated to the swift return of our spiritual teacher, Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Yeah, I think everybody is aware that Rinpoche passed on in April last year. So, our first question, Jitsuma, if you don't mind, because I know that I don't know how to word it. Your root guru passed on while you were in the cave, I believe. So, for those of us who are grieving and feeling lost and not knowing, where to go, I wanted to ask you for advice because that is a very special period for all of us. Yeah.
Yes, well, indeed. And it's usually something which happens to us all eventually, especially if the Lama is older than ourselves. Or, in the case of my own Lama, Kamta Rinpoche, he passed away when he was 48. So that was a big shock for us all because we weren't expecting him to go so soon. And at the time when he died, it was a huge shock. Actually, I was in Nepal, and Dego Khyentse Rinpoche told me. He called myself and my Dharma sister, Annie Lodra, and told us that he just heard news that Kamta Rinpoche had died in Bhutan. And so it was really, it was the one time when I cried like I never thought I could cry, and felt like I was in a desert, and my guide had just left, and I felt completely abandoned. But then it came to me as I was, my Dharma sister said, look, come and sit, we'll sit together and just meditate. So I came and sat with her. And then as I sat, I recognized that actually the true Lama, the essence of the Lama that we go for refuge to, is always with us. And maybe it's more with us when there's no physical barriers anymore. That the genuine Lama is right in the center of our heart, and that we can never be apart, even for one moment, if we have devotion. That's enough. And I think that this is really very important, that we shouldn't identify our devotion to the Lama to merely the physical manifestation of the Guru, that, he looks like this, he said like that, he has a nice smile, and so forth. That's not what we're going for refuge to. What we're going for refuge to is his Buddha nature, which is identical with our own Buddha nature, and from which we can never be parted, even for one moment, and which he reveals in a way that is hidden to us. So that's the point, and we should recognize the Lama in our hearts. We can see him as he looks, if you want, if that's the comfort, but sitting right in the center of our being. And recognize we are never apart if we have devotion. Because he represents our own innate wisdom. This is not just fantasy. For example, one time I hadn't seen Kamta Rinpoche for 2 or 3 years because he was in Bhutan, I was in Lahul. And then when I saw him again, I said, oh, Rinpoche, we've been apart for so many years. And he said, haven't you realized even yet that we are never apart for one moment? Yes, Rinpoche, sorry. And that's the point. That's what we have to recognize. That's what Guru Yoga is all about, is recognizing that the Guru is always the most fundamental part of our own being.
So, how can we learn to listen to our inner wisdom if now there is seemingly nobody to turn to ask for advice and things like that? How can we develop our inner wisdom and our inner guru, Jitsuma?
Well, I think it's helpful to do Guru Yoga, where you get the blessings of body, speech, and mind from the Lama. Then you envision the Lama dissolving into light and then coming through the top of the head down into the heart, recognizing your mind, Lama's mind are the same, water into water. And then just sit with that. Don't rush to the next thing. Sit with that feeling of being in a state of open empty cognizance, that inner empty clarity of mind, which is the true nature of the Lama, and listen to it. You can even put your question, what shall I do next? And then listen, because it's a very subtle answer, but the answer will come because inwardly we know. The wisdom is there. The only problem is our being able to access it. But the Lama is in our heart. The Lama is our true nature. And all we have to do is to really learn how to be quiet and open to that nature which is always within us but normally covered over by all our busy conceptualization. And trust in that. And call out to the whole universe, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and the Yidams and the Dakinis and the protectors and everybody, and say, okay, here I am. I've given my life to the Dharma. Now, what shall I do? You show me what to do. I sacrificed my life for you, so from your side, you please reach out and help at this point. And really, if you trust in that and really, really open yourself to their healing blessings, they will come. They will come because the universe is filled with compassionate intelligence. We just have to plug into that energy. And it's through silence and surrender. Devotion. It comes because it's there always waiting to be called on. Normally we're looking everywhere else. We don't know where we're supposed to be looking, but it's within us the whole time, just waiting. So trust in that. So did Lama Zopa give any indications of where he might be reborn next time?
I don't know, Jetsunma. No, not that I've heard anybody mentioning anything. No. Yeah, because it came so sudden for many people. I mean, Rinpoche gave us warning. Rinpoche manifested the stroke in 2011. And then telling us there was even a big meeting of worldwide center directors, and Rinpoche, the whole meeting was about what will happen when Rinpoche is not there for us. And, we have to grow up, and how do we grow up? And then we all went back into permanence. Rinpoche will be with us forever. And then it became, that was a big shock, I think, for many. Rinpoche, they were on social media, Rinpoche laughing the day before, and suddenly Rinpoche was gone. So, yeah.
Well, there we are, the truth of impermanence. As the Buddha said, the one thing sure about life is death. And we never want to accept it. We might recite it every day and say, oh, yes, yes, we know. But actually, it still comes as a great shock. And it happens to other people, but not to anybody that we care about. Least of all ourselves. Human beings are difficult, very hard-headed.
It's Jetsunma.
Isn't it true, though, I mean, why are we shocked when the most natural thing in life is to die? But we are shocked. What to do? Anyway, I mean, as someone like Lama Zopa, the other point is to appreciate all the many, many teachings that you've received from him, and the books, and the talks, and the instruction that he's given through the years. I mean, most of that has been preserved in a way that in olden times would never have happened. And so one should be very grateful for the direction that was given throughout all these years. I mean, he made very clear what he wanted and what he hoped for. And so, I mean, you can't say that you have no guidance.
Yes, very true. Very true. Rinpoche, I mean, Rinpoche gave 24 hours for so many years. I mean,
Uh-huh.
literally 24 hours since Rinpoche didn't sleep,
Yep.
as many people
Yeah.
could experience. So, yes, it's just we have to grow up, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Well, this is honestly, Kunpen, this is the problem that many people remain like spiritual babies. And whereas a good parent teaches, takes care of their children while they're children, but is training them to become adults and, in a way be independent of the parent, even though their parent is still their parent. But they don't keep running back to mummy or daddy every minute saying, what should I do now? What should I do now? Come on, you're grown up. What do you want to do? So that's the other side of it, that people have had a lot of instruction, a lot of guidance through the years, and now they should be making their own path and clear within their own hearts what they want to do and what is important for them. And different ones are different. But look into yourself. What do you want to do? When I said towards the end, when I said to come to Rinpoche, what should I do now? He said, well, what do you want to do? And then I would, say, well, how about da da da? And he would say, oh, yes, that's a good idea. Or oh, you want to do that? Which meant maybe that wasn't such a good idea. But, in general, he expected that I was going to now, I had a large enough canvas on which I could select what from all that was most meaningful for myself. I didn't have to keep asking the Lama. I mean, most of you have been with the Lama Zopa for so many years, isn't it? You're all adults now. And should have confidence in the Dharma, because that's the ultimate refuge.
thank you, Jetsunma.